All right, guys. So we're going to talk about Nintendo. And the reason why we're talking about Nintendo today is because apparently Nintendo was able to do what the United States government couldn't do with the Epstein files. Nintendo has been able to get the FBI to seize one of the most popular piracy websites for the Nintendo Switch, right? NSW2U was apparently a popular place for illegally downloading Switch ROMs, and it was just recently seized by the FBI. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the FBI is not out there solving crimes. The FBI is not out there solving Epstein file lists or anything like that. No, 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 no. The FBI is out there ensuring that the Nintendo ninjas don't get their games pirated, because that's the most important thing ever. One of the biggest Nintendo Switch piracy sites around the world has been taken down by the FBI as part of a law of enforcement operation on Thursday. NSW2U was one of the better known repositories for Switch ROMs online, allowing people to play games on hacked Switches or emulators on PC without legally purchasing the games themselves. I'm sure Nintendo saw this website and they were like, "You'll need stop now." And they called the FBI and was like, "We sent ninjas or you die." Like, you take it down or you die. That's basically what they're trying to say. And the FBI was like, "Okay, Nintendo, we'll do what you say. Please, just please don't Epstein us." And that's basically what they're doing here. So, again, one of the biggest websites out there was taken down, and this domain has been seized by the Federal Bureau of Investigation in accordance with a seizure warrant issued pursuant to 18 USC 2323, issued by the United States District Court for the Northern District of Georgia as part of a law enforcement operation and an action by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. That's a lot of words for them essentially saying we took this shit down. Reads a notice now posted on the site when you visit the URL. It says the FIOD, a Dutch agency that investigates financial crimes in the Netherlands, was also involved. So they got everybody involved in this. They got the entire worldwide involved in this to take this website down. This website must have been, I mean, again, I haven't visited this website. I'm not big into ROMs or emulation or anything like that. But I got to imagine that this website must have been losing Nintendo so much money that for them to go this hard to take it down ASAP is pretty wild. According to users on the Switch piracy subreddit, the site was still active earlier today, with many claiming to have downloaded games within the last few hours. The NSW2U sites were first added to the EU piracy watch list back in May of this year. The FBI and Nintendo did not immediately respond to a request for comment. I mean, I don't think they're going to respond. Nintendo likes to just kind of use their ninjas to operate silently and take things down whenever they can. But I'm sure this is not going to be the end of it. What Nintendo has been doing this particular generation, I mean, listen, the Switch 2 just came out, right? So I don't mean to say this generation as if it's been out for a while, but the Nintendo Switch 2 just came out. And I got to tell you, I have not seen Nintendo go this hard to combat all the things that they're combating at once. I have never seen this, right? They are combating piracy through their own means of bricking Nintendo Switch 2 consoles. They are combating the third-party market, trying to essentially shut it all down by ensuring their consoles have encryption that prevent third-party accessories from being able to work with the Nintendo Switch 2. They're to control the market. They're trying to control what you do with your console after you buy it. They're trying to control everything. They want to control you, it seems. And they also want you to be in their ecosystem exclusively. They don't want you to look at anything else. They don't even want you to buy secondhand, right? There's a lot of bad stories out there of people trying to buy secondhand only to realize that their Switch 2 gets bricked for whatever reason that may be. So again, it's crazy stories that are happening out there with the Nintendo Switch 2 console, but Nintendo is out here doing some wild stuff. It's almost as if they have spent the last, 6-7 years planning all of this. They spent the last 6-7 years prepping for this and to ensure that the next Switch that comes out was going to be as tight-knit as possible to try to prevent themselves losing money to piracy or whatever like that. And keep in mind, Brazil is currently going to potentially pursue legal action against Nintendo for bricking consoles. This is something that they're looking into. Nintendo has 20 days to respond to Brazil. And if they don't, well, I mean, whatever happens after that. So it says the Mario Maker has been cracking down on Switch piracy over the last few years, including taking legal action against the makers of the popular Yuzu emulator. Last year, they let players run Switch games on PC and PC gaming handhelds like Valve Steam Deck. Nintendo has also been pursuing litigation against smaller sites that host ROM downloads for older systems and the makers of third-party devices designed to help players circumvent Switch copyright protections. Again, they will do everything possible to try to take you down. They'll do everything possible to try to stop piracy. But God forbid they try to do anything to try to fix their Joy-Con drift. Yeah, that's not happening, right? They don't want to, that's too much work. They don't want to do that, right? They want to keep you buying the same shit as before. The original Switch was hacked early in its life, and the ROMs for its top selling games, like The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, have proliferated online in recent years. That's led to some to speculate that Nintendo has gone to extra lengths to keep the Switch 2 locked down tight. And that's what I was saying before. It seems as if they are going above and beyond. I mean, they are going so above and beyond. It's insane. Keep in mind, this company right now is one of the richest companies in Japan, and that's with all the piracy issues that they had with the Switch 1. They were able to become the top 10 most richest companies in Japan, even with all the piracy happening. So they're going above and beyond to stop all this piracy from happening. Meanwhile, they're already the top 10 richest companies, in Japan. Like, how much more money do you want? I don't even know. Anyway, so it seems like they're investing all their money to ensure that they try to, take this stuff down and keep it down. That's really what they're doing. But jokes on Nintendo, I guess. So let's check it out. So it says players using unauthorized SD cards for storing multiple Switch 1 ROMs have already begun finding their new Switch 2 consoles to be banned from online service shortly after the console launched last month, with Nintendo reserving the right to break devices that violate its terms of service, which is exactly what's happening in Brazil. They're trying to stop that from happening. They're trying to sue Nintendo and keep that from happening. But I don't think Brazil is going to be able to change the EULA of Nintendo. I just don't think it's going to happen. Obviously, time's going to tell. I hope that they could do something about it. But if they do, it's probably only going to be in Brazil, and that's it. Everywhere else in the world is going to have to abide by the same bullshit until somebody else sues them. But listen, this massive piracy website, I'm sure this is one of many. Right? This is only one of many. There are many other piracy websites out there, and Nintendo can pat itself on the back for this, sure, but there's plenty out there. You can't stop this, right? I think Nintendo is very old school in their mentality. Nintendo doesn't understand how the internet truly works, and they think they can stop the internet from doing its thing. It's not going to happen, right? The internet's going to continue doing its thing for as long as it wants to, and Nintendo's going to blow a lot of money in taking these websites down one by one by one by one. They're going to blow more money than it's worth, but I think they're so old in their ways and so egotistical that they're going to invest and do it anyway. Just because, right? They're hoping that by taking down some websites, they're going to send a message to other people not to do it. But they're going to do it. They're always going to do it. So you guys can let me know, like I said, in the comments down below. What do you think about this? Do you think this anything, prominent is going to happen from this? Or do you think this is just Nintendo being egotistical? You can let me know whatever you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, consider hitting that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.